Hey everybody, thanks for watching the video. And this is actually supposed to be my recap for the Sarge Mccray WNPF Powerlifting Championships that happened on Sunday, December 10th. And actually, unfortunately, due to some complications and technical difficulties with the video, I don't actually have any video footage. But I was actually only able to get my opener, which was 6:35, and I actually went for 7:10, and I did not get that. So I actually wound up getting first place and best lifter overall. But of course, to me, I'm not satisfied with that because I didn't beat myself. And to me, those trophies are honestly pointless. And it's frustrating because the thing is that you get to points where you're putting all your time and effort into something, and it doesn't amount to anything. And the struggle is, what do you do from there? What do you do when you feel like you hit rock bottom or you feel like you failed? Through my experience and my experience with this, my experience with life, there's two things I always realized people do in a situation like this. Is they either will quit, they either will, they'll be mad and just quit, or they'll just sit there and be mad and not do anything about it. Or you have people who are in the successful route in life that will just do something about it. And for me, it's frustrating, but I know for a fact that my reaction and my initial reaction is to get back in the gym and just get back to training and work on what I need to work on to improve and get better. And that means taking away from that competition, there's a lot of factors that could have came into play. I didn't get much sleep the night before. That could have been a factor with my central nervous system. I had my central nervous system could have been fried. I know for a fact when I was warming up, I kind of felt off. Just after doing that first attempt, I kind of felt a little fatigued, so that could have been a factor. Maybe my diet the day of the competition could have been better. I could have had maybe more food prior to the competition. So there's always places to improve, always things that you can improve on, do better going forward, so that way you can excel and perform to the standards that you want to perform at, or excel to the rate you want to excel at. And these are things I currently am analyzing and dissecting now, that way I could rectify and just make sure that next time when I'm in a situation or in a scenario like that, I can bounce back. So, but for me, it puts me in a position where I just want to get back to work and just bust my ass and be where I want to be at. And it's frustrating. Yes, we're human. It happens to everybody. We all get frustrated. We all get pissed off. We all get to a point where we just are fed up with what's going on, and why things are not working, why things are not going your way. But you can't let that get to the point where it drives you out of that direction, because you have to realize and understand that life is not a cakewalk, and at the same time, being successful is not easy. It's not a straight path. There's going to be bumps and bruises. There's going to be times where you are going to be at your highest and at your lowest. But the most important thing you have to remember and realize is that through all that, when you're going through both ends of the spectrum, you have to make sure you're staying consistent with whatever you're doing. Because yes, today may not be successful, but it doesn't mean that tomorrow's going to end up being the same way. And that means that even though you may not be successful today, you should have to wake up tomorrow with the intent of knowing that your intentions are to bounce back, to be successful, to stay true to yourself, stay consistent, and keep pushing forward. I guess that's the real take-home message here from this, that for me. And it's not my last competition, so there's plenty more other competitions that come up, and when you fail at things, it's not the end all be all. There's plenty of other opportunities. There will be times where you can bounce back, but I've seen a lot of people, like, for example, when they don't get a promotion, or they don't get a job, or they don't get they don't get something that they feel like they deserve, their initial reaction is to quit. And actually, you're not conveying the right message, and if anything, you're not setting yourself up to achieve that thing that you wanted to come. Because what you're doing in that point in that situation is actually you're distancing yourself and making yourself more distant from achieving that goal by looking the other direction and walking away, or just turning your head and just not emphasizing on what you were doing prior to that failure. And believe it or not, people don't see the results. They don't see the progress is because when they realize that they've hit a hardship, adversity, or an obstacle, they're more inclined to feel like the easiest way is just turn around and walk the other way. And, you know, what are you teaching yourself when you do that? What are you teaching yourself that if you were working hard on something and you try and it fails and you just throw your hands up and walk away? What are you teaching yourself? What level of self-respect are you conveying to yourself when you do that? Because you're not teaching yourself anything. If anything, you're just teaching yourself to quit. And it's easier to quit than to just get up and do it again. Like that's, and you know, for the average individual, that's the mindset that they have. It's just the easy way out. It's just to give up and just quit whatever they're doing. And that's not where success comes from. Success has plenty of failures behind it. And at the same time, you can't expect if you're going to try something that automatically you're going to be successful at it. You're going to have your off days. You're going to have your days where it's bad, days where shit hits the fan and things don't go the way you want them to. And it sucks. Yes, it sucks, and that's reality. And reality is that even though those things happen, you cannot let that make you quit or give up. Because then you just program your mind and telling yourself that every single time you come up with a scenario or adversity, you're just going to quit. And then you'll put yourself in a position where you're doing the same pattern over and over again. Bad patterns, by the way. And you are going to end up with the same result every single time. But if you put yourself in a position to have a good program, or program your mind in a good way to, if you fail, to just keep going, keep trying, you're more likely to end up being successful or have some moniker of success with the mindset that you have. Because you may start your path in one area, but you actually may end up being successful in something else completely different. You know, and like for me, I went to school for engineering, and I didn't finish, but I still wound up getting a decent paying job in a leadership role without a degree. And did I ever think that I would be in that position in my life? No, I did not. But I know for a fact that what I did to get there was the attitude and the mindset I had. I knew for a fact that I wanted to be successful, but the mindset that I had got me to get to that opportunity. I may have not gone in thinking that I wanted to get that job, but I went in with the mindset of I'm going to be successful. I'm going to pursue something. I'm going to be ahead in life. And it became so. So, you know, failure is not the end-all be-all. It is a lesson. It is something that makes you better, something that makes you stronger. Because you can actually apply that to the next time you handle that obstacle, and it'll be a lot easier. If anything, it won't be an obstacle whatsoever because you already know how to handle it. You already know how to approach it. And if anything, it should be like a snowball effect. You know, is okay, now that you went through this scenario, you had this experience, when it happens again, you can just roll right past it like it's no problem because you already know what to expect. You already know how to handle it. You already know if you do things the right way, you already know the outcome. So, yeah, it can get frustrating at times, you know, not being where you want to be at, and, you know, it's not here today, and, you know, you still have a long way to go. But even though you may feel like you have a long way to go, you just have to tell yourself you're going to get there. And it may not happen today, it may not happen tomorrow, next week, next year, but it will happen. As long as you stay true to yourself, you keep pushing, you keep believing, and you stay consistent, and you don't stop. So for me, that was the biggest lesson I took away from this competition. And like I said, my initial reaction is I just wanted to get back in the gym and work my behind off and do what I got to do. And that's where I am. And I cannot wait to deadlift again on Sunday, because I want to bounce back. I want to bounce back, get better, get right back on track, and keep pushing forward. So, as always, thank you guys for watching the video. I really appreciate it. So, as always, I have my videos on Sundays. So, I know I was going to do a meet recap, but actually, I'm going to save that for the next video when I post my next deadlift workout, and kind of just go over everything and talk about what my intentions are for next year, talk about what my intentions are, goal-wise, and, kind of setting myself up for next year. And, of course, obviously, recapping this year and seeing where the highs and lows are, and also what lessons did I learn, because I can tell you right now, this year was very up and down. I was at my lowest point, and I was at my highest point, and I was everywhere in between as well. And there was plenty of things that I could take away from it, and a lot of lessons that I learned reflecting on it, that it's made me improve so much as an individual, and it's actually helped my mentality become to another level, and just having even more self-discipline and even more self-control to improve and just be a better person, and just produce a better quality performance, just produce a better quality of an attitude. And those are things I'll touch on, because like, I look at everything in regards to what I do as a lesson, and how can I apply it to make myself better, so that way I can look at tomorrow and say, I'm going to take this, what I learned, apply it tomorrow, so that way I can have what I want tomorrow. So that'll definitely be on the next video. As always, guys, thank you for watching the video, and take care.